once again, I'm Jordan Meisner for this week's edition of Wildcat Weekly. LC's hopes and dreams of an undefeated season came to an end this past Saturday as the number 19 LC Wildcats suffered a 36-10 loss to number 4 Mary Hardin-Baylor. We'll have interviews this week from Dennis Dunn, center Ben Feibel, safety Reggie Calhoun, and linebacker Nate Janzen. But first, let's check out some highlights from this week's action.
Wildcats come into this game against Mary Hardin-Baylor ranked in the top 25 for the first time in school history, checking in at number 19 in the D3 football polls. First possession for LC on 2nd and 20. Jamie Bunning finds Darnell Williams for 19 yards. Wildcats close to a first down. 2 plays later, Bunning looks for Deron Bartholomew down the right sideline. He'll pick up 13 yards to set up Aiden Oliveras for a 24-yard field goal, and the freshman from Gilmer, Texas nails it. LC up 3-0 after an impressive drive. More first quarter action as UMHB quarterback Ladero Bailey drops back to pass, but he'll be picked off by Reggie Calhoun, who returns at 11 yards, and LC's offense has great field position with just under 4 minutes left in the first. Great play by Jamie Bunning as he runs the play-action pass and throws a bullet to Dane Reeves for a 40-yard pickup to get LC all the way down to the 1-yard line. Ryan Montague will take it from there as he sneaks through the defense for the score, and the Wildcats are in control after 1 quarter, leading 10-0. Buck Buchanan's defense was stingy early on. Here we see Ladero Bailey's pass almost picked off by Richard Logan. Then as Bailey scrambles, he is absolutely demolished by Terrance Bratten for a loss of 7 yards. Bailey fumbles on the play, but the crew would recover. Moving on to second quarter action, Wildcats stuck deep in their own territory, and Bunning throws to Darnell Williams, who will go way up to snag the pass for a 26-yard completion. 3 plays later, Bunning fires a strike to Dane Reeves for 13 yards and a first down. Back to the ground game as Sir Derek Tyson shows off his burst of speed to pick up a 17-yard gain and another LC first down. Wildcats forced to punt after that drive stalls, however, and Ladero Bailey back to work for UMHB. He'll find Damian Davis down the right sideline for a 23-yard gain to get down to the 11-yard line. Bailey finishes the drive by himself after that as he tucks it and makes a few nice moves to get into the end zone. Crew now within 3, down 10-7. Bailey's outstanding play would not end there as he keeps it on the option play on first down and sprints down the field for a 31-yard pickup and a UMHB first down. No surprises on the next play as Bailey keeps once again and picks up 21 more yards to give the crew a first and goal opportunity at the 10-yard line. Very next play, handoff is to Darius Wilson, who scores from 10 yards out, and UMHB now leads 14-10 after a 3-play drive. LC defense would remain tough right before halftime as Bailey is sacked on this play by Josh Montgomery. Then as Bailey looks to the end zone, Anthony Johnson makes a great play to swat away a potential touchdown pass to Damian Davis. UMHB forced to kick a field goal, and Chad Peavy's attempt from 33 yards is good, and the crew sees all the momentum as they head to the half with a 17-10 lead. More of the Ladero Bailey show in the third quarter as he keeps on the zone read to pick up 19 more yards, which will set up Peavy for another field goal attempt, and this one from 40 yards is also good. UMHB now leads 20-10. One of the lone bright spots for LC's offense in the second half was this 20-yard run by Ryan Montague down the left sideline. But after an LC punt, UMHB goes to running back Elijah Hudson, and he finds a huge hole amidst a vast number of unseen holding penalties and sprints to the pylon to give the crew a 26-10 lead near the end of the third quarter. First possession of the fourth quarter for the Wildcats, and Bunning goes to Dane Reeves yet again on 2nd and 10 for a 19-yard completion and a first down. Very next play, however, Bunning will look to the end zone for Darnell Williams, but an outstanding play by Broderick Crane at the 7-yard line results in an interception. Despite the 16-point deficit, LC's defense still shows great effort as Darius Wilson busts loose for a 64-yard gain, but watch as Phil Ford comes out of nowhere to chase the play down from behind, and the big linebacker keeps UMHB out of the end zone. That would prove to be a big play as Bailey drops back to pass 3 plays later, and Corey Warmington fights off a receiver to make a great interception and returns at 39 yards all the way up to the LC 45-yard line. Last glimpse of hope for the Wildcats as Tim Curry enters the game at quarterback and throws a nice pass to Reeves for a 16-yard gain on 4th and 10. But next play, Curry looking to his left for Jerome Wright, and he'll be picked off by Ryan Metcalf. UMHB adds a field goal after that, and an interception return later in the game as the 19th-ranked Wildcats fall to number 4 Mary Hardin-Baylor by a final score of 36-10.
And I'm joined this week by our football correspondents, Bryar Barton and Tyler Ray. Now, Bryar, you had a chance to see the LC Wildcats on the road for the first time this year. What are your thoughts on their performance and the atmosphere of the game?
I thought ultimately they handled it pretty well going into the first quarter, coming out with a 10-0 lead, and then kind of got away from the running game in the second half. And I think ultimately that's what hurt them the most. So.
Yeah, now Tyler, you talk about going away from the run game. Really successful early on, running the ball, Ryan Montague and Deron Bartholomew, even Sir Derek Tyson. And then we just kind of see him try to rely on the pass, maybe a little bit too much.
Yeah, a little too early. Like, we got down, and then I guess coach changed the play calling up a little bit, changed to the pass game. Should have stayed on the run just a little longer.
Now we look at the performance and we see him on offense, and some people say that Mary Hardin-Baylor is a great team, but in the eyes of the Wildcats in that locker room, I think that you feel that maybe a little few missed opportunities.
Oh yeah, they could have been beat. They're a good team, but they could have been beat. We beat ourselves.
Now, Bryar, you look at the defensive side of the ball. Mary Hardin-Baylor is really able to run the ball pretty efficiently against this LC defense. That really hadn't happened all year. But what did you see from Mary Hardin-Baylor as far as their game plan and their attack on LC's defense?
Well, I think first of all, the defense really shut them out early, and mostly because the defense had to come off the field and go right back on so fast to kind of wore them down. Ultimately, I think the biggest thing they gave up was the quarterback runs, and after that it opened up other areas of the field where they were able to complete passes and then ultimately just run the ball down their throat. So mostly the defense was just too tired.
Now, Bryar had a chance to catch up with Coach Dennis Dunn after the game.
All right, Coach, now like we said, you come out in the first quarter and really looked like you were going to take control of the whole thing. What happened offensively in the second half that really shut that down?
Well, again, credit Mary Hardin-Baylor for playing great defense. You know, they're not the #4 ranked team in the nation for nothing. I thought, our defense played extremely well, but we've got to become more consistent offensively, and I probably got a little impatient with the run game. I probably should have stayed even when we got down, 17-10, 20-10. We're still in it, and I probably got away from the run game a little bit too soon, we've got to continue to develop our identity offensively, and right now, we go back to the drawing board, and we still are in great shape. We're 3-1 as opposed to last year we're 1-3 at this point. You win next week, you're back right where you need to be, and you keep going, and hopefully we can get focused and bounce back. And I think the maturity of this team will show that. I think we're going to come back tomorrow, and I think we'll be ready to get ready for ETBU.
So now, what are some things that you tell not only your offense, number one, but your team as a whole going into next week? What are some things you need to work on? Well,
we've got to put this game behind us. Emotionally, the emotions going into this were real high. So we've got to emotionally put it behind us and focus on what's going to be a very good ETBU team. So, we got to go back and continue to do the things that we do, and we're not going to panic and trash stuff. I think we still have a good plan. I think our where we're going, our thought process with a big offensive line, our backs, is to run the football and keep the pressure off our quarterback, and try to control the line of scrimmage, keep our defense off the field. We didn't do that. We got impatient. That's, I'll take the credit for that. I mean, I'm going to go back and probably kick myself in the rear for, getting impatient, even at 20-10. So it's that's why you play the game. You get a chance to play next week, and that's what's great about this, this profession. That's what's great about this game is, in 7 days we get to do this again and put it behind us.
Now, you mentioned quarterbacks. Speaking of quarterbacks, who are we going to see more of going forward, Jamie Bunning or Tim Curry?
Well, Jamie's our quarterback. We just were trying to, in the fourth quarter, to see if Tim could get a little something going, because they were stymieing everything that we were doing. So I was just going to see if Tim could bring a little spark. But Jamie's our quarterback. He's going to lead this team. He's going to continue to play well, I know. So I'm not at all disappointed in Jamie, and he's going to get better. I mean, we're 4 games into his career, and Jamie's he's a heck of a talent. I believe in him, and his team believes in him. So, there's no quarterback controversy.
All right, so Tyler, now we look at LC's offensive performance, and you were down on the field filming a little bit. What did you see as far as athleticism goes and the athletes that Mary Hardin-Baylor is bringing to the table?
Well, they was very explosive. The quarterback, oh yeah, he was elusive, explosive. But if we just could have contained them a little better, we could have did a lot better out there.
Now, would you say, looking at the games as a whole this season, through the first couple of games, that they were the fastest team on defense that y'all faced this year?
I wouldn't say the fastest, I'd say the most disciplined.
Now, we look at LC's running game due to the big attributes to the offensive line up front, guys like Ben Feibel, Jeremy Unovich, Darren Moore, Sean Cook, guys like that. That offensive line for LC has been pretty stout this year.
Oh, yeah, the offensive line, they're holding their own out there. They're keeping Jamie safe. As long as he stays in the pocket, he complete a lot more passes.
Now, one of the leaders of that offensive line has Ben Feibel, and we had a chance to talk to him after the game.
Ben, coming off a fairly tough loss to Mary Hardin-Baylor, what are the emotions like right now in the locker room?
Well, you know, right now, of course, it's pretty frustrating, and you didn't get to execute like you wanted to. But, you know, come tomorrow, we got to flush it and move on and keep going with the dream we have, and that's keep winning and make a run in this playoffs. So,
what do you think? What do you think some improvements that you guys, as far as the offense, can make going into the next game against ETBU?
I mean, just try to stick with the game plan what we got going on. Stick with the run game, you know, run the football. You know, it's tough when you get behind and you get in first and 15, first and 20 situations, you know, to try to run the football, you know, and you've got to throw it. So they know that's going to happen, so you're at a disadvantage. So we can avoid staying ahead. We can keep ahead of the chains. We'll be all right. So.
A couple of calls didn't exactly go in your guys' favor today. Can you talk about that a little bit?
Yeah, it wasn't too much of a good thing. The good thing about the referees, I guess, I don't know. I'm one of those that believe if you have to rely on the referees to win or lose the game, I think you shouldn't have won the game anyway. But yeah, it was pretty rough out there today. So we'll have to work through that. So it'll be all right.
So from this loss, do you take heartache or do you take something to press for?
I think a little bit of both, because you can use the heartache to press through and stay focused and just really tick you off and finish the season out like you want to finish it out. So it's going to be a good ride the rest of the year. So.
And I'm joined this week, as always, by Terrance Bratten, LC sophomore defensive end. Now, Terrance, defense this week for LC, I'm sure you'll come away with a little bit of regret maybe after this Mary Hardin-Baylor loss.
Yeah, man, it was a disappointing loss, obviously. We came out fired up in the game, and the main thing was to stop their running game, and down the stretch we failed to do that, and ultimately that was the reason that we struggled.
Now, LC maybe a little bit concerned with depth this year. The starters for LC, very, very good. Maybe the second string has some guys in it, but the depth really, from what it looked like, the depth really played a role in the way that Mary Hardin-Baylor was able to run the ball.
Right. Playing in Belton, Texas is slightly different. Atmosphere is tougher to breathe out there a little bit, and some of our starters had to come out because of fatigue issues, but guys like West Borderline at the Ram position was able to come in for Peter Ford a few times, let him take a few breaks. So yep, depth is very important in the game of football. Yeah,
we looked at Peter Ford during the game, and he just looked like he was exhausted, and part of the reason was LC's defense was on the field quite a bit.
Yeah, man, and if you're on defense, sometimes you just can't get frustrated, even if the offense is not moving the ball effectively. If they continue to punt, it's our job to go out there and stone the opposing team offense and continue to give our offense chances to win.
Now, we do look at the stats, and it appeared that LC played the pass pretty well. Any positives coming out of that?
Right. You know, on some of our long passing situations, we were able to get our speed rushers on the field and create pressure out there. So I think that would have been the main thing. If we could have just stopped the run mainly and forced them into long passing situations, we would have won the ball game.
Now, Bryar Barton had a chance to catch up with a couple of defensive leaders for this team, Reggie Calhoun and Nate Janzen. We'll see what they had to say about the game.
Well, Reggie, you guys come out pretty fired up on defense for the first quarter and really into the second quarter. Then can you tell me what happened after that? Really, you gave up 171 yards to their running back. What really took place?
It was just a momentum shift. You know, football is about momentum. It was, you know, they stopped us on offense, and it was just a momentum shift. And that's all it was, and we just couldn't get back on top.
All right. Now, how do you guys plan to bounce back from this loss next week?
Put this loss on the shelf and get back to work.
All right. Thank you for your time.
No problem.
What was it that they did, the adjustment that they made from the first quarter to the second, that they really started to have more success, you think, against you guys?
Really, they realized that they couldn't run the option because we were faster than them, so they started just going up the middle, doing what they do best. You know, going up the middle and just pounding it.
Was it a little bit more like last year, where last year you had the offense that scored so quickly, you guys didn't have much time to rest? Today, the offense just couldn't get the momentum, and the defense was out there a lot. Do you feel like you guys just kind of wore down a little bit as the game was going on?
I mean, the past 3 games, the defense haven't been on the field much, so it was a different game. But there's no excuse for the defense, being winded or anything. We just couldn't get back on top of the momentum shift.
Where does this leave you as far as the goals that you had coming into the year? Is this the kind of loss that ends that, or do you just got to take this game and learn from it and see what you can do now the rest of the year?
We're definitely going to learn from it. Our goals are still on. We're still going to Salem. We're still focused. Nothing is written in stone yet. We're still going our goal. We're still, headed to the victory.
First of all, coming off of this loss, what kind of emotions are you feeling right now?
Man, pretty much the same emotions we felt last year. Just the hate of losing. Man, that we were so close last year, then I guess this year we just couldn't put it all together. So, I mean, I hate losing. We all hate losing, and it's definitely not what we want to do, but it happened. We got to get over it. It's just part of it.
So what do you take from this game as far as things you can improve on and things you can use to build the season from here on out?
Well, that emotion, that hate that we have for losing, just keep that going. You don't want to lose. Just use that, and then I guess we just got to get tougher. And they pounded us pretty good running the ball, so we're gonna have to get tougher.
Obviously, you guys started off fairly good in the first quarter. You held them to only 1 first down in the first quarter, and then kind of slipped a little bit in the second. What was the atmosphere like throughout the game, and when did it change?
Well, I don't even know what to say. Just that momentum shift they had. I guess we threw picks, a pick in the first half or something like that, and they just capitalized off the pick and had all the momentum and kind of shut us up. The sideline wasn't loud like they usually are. It was just dead for us today, I guess. We didn't have much emotion.
All right, Terrance, now looking ahead to next week, you guys have ETBU now. I had a chance to go watch that ETBU game last year on the road at ETBU, and really y'all just had their way with them on offense. But they're coming to y'all's house this year and coming off that Mary Hardin-Baylor loss, excuse me. I'm sure y'all have a lot of fire in y'all's eyes this week.
Right, and the focus of this week has been the claw. We're fighting for the claw, and our goal is to keep it in Wildcat Stadium. So it's going to be an exciting atmosphere, and I know they're going to come with their A game, so it's going to be important that we come with ours.
Now, much like Mary Hardin-Baylor, they have a very, very athletic quarterback.
Oh, yes. Probably will be the most athletic quarterback we see all year. He might even be more gifted than the one we seen last week. I mean, watching him on film, he's very elusive, and being on turf, that's a faster surface, so it's going to be exciting to watch him out there.
Now, of course, the American Southwest Conference, anybody could be beaten any week, it seems like. And ETBU, at the beginning of the year, maybe not a lot of people give them a chance, but they come back last week and get a big victory over Hardin-Simmons.
Right, and they had a lot of confidence going into that game, and they were able to beat Hardin-Simmons at their place. So that just goes to show that the ASC is a very tough conference, and anyone can lose at any time.
Now we'll be joined in this next segment by our Sports Information Director, Will Tubbs, and he'll talk about a new addition to Wildcat Stadium. Now, if you noticed during this week's edition of Wildcat Weekly, you noticed behind me the new scoreboard here at Wildcat Stadium, and here to talk a little bit about that is Sports Information Director Will Tubbs. Now, Will, this is something been going on for a while, the plans to put this in place. How does it feel to finally get that done?
Well, there's the old saying, Jordan, good things come to those who wait. We've all waited, the fans, the athletics family here. We've waited for a good little while for this, but it's finally up, and I know I'm thankful, everyone's thankful. It'll be a nice little treat for our fans here at Wildcat Stadium for years to come.
Now, unlike a lot of D3 schools, we actually have a video board up there, so how are we going to get that going?
Well, that's going to come from your department, I believe, or you video types are going to take over. That's not going to be me, thankfully. Someone else is going to have that. Hopefully it's not a headache, but they'll have that responsibility, and it should be a real treat.
Now, how does that add to the atmosphere, just to have that up in place and have the press box in place now, just to add to the atmosphere for the fans' experience here at Wildcat Stadium?
Well, the atmosphere has always been great here at Louisiana College, but, nothing against our little tiny temporary boards we've had in the past, but it's going to be real nice to actually have a nice official scoreboard to look at, and it's just like it's big enough where no matter where you sit in the stadium, you should be able to see it.
And hopefully it's big enough to add up all the points that LC hopefully puts up this weekend. So for Will Tubbs, Al Quartermont, Spencer Chrisman, Tyler Ray, Terrance Bratten, and Bryar Barton, I'm Jordan Meisner, and you're watching Wildcat Weekly.
Let's go, brothers on 3. 1, 2, 3. Brothers.